And we are back. I am your host, Chris, and this is the Chris Gray Show. We're back. Little hiatus, right? Got a lot to get to. Well, not really a lot to get to. We're going to get to some things, but not a lot of things we're going to get to, right? Kendrick put out an album. We'll get to that first. GNX. It is pretty good. I listened to it a little bit at work. I listened to it from beginning to end, from work to home, Friday. And it is very, very good. Surprise album. It's a surprise, nigga. It's coming. A lot of people think this is a mixtape for something else to come. I think so too. But score one more for Compton. There was no Drake disses. Actually, there was no disses, like no outright disses, right? You know, I know the stuff about Wayne is going around and stuff like that, but that wasn't necessarily outright diss. You know, he spoke to Snoop the same way. So good album. Good West Coast album too. Sounds really, really West Coast, right? Very hype. A lot of this shit will go up at like house parties. A lot of this shit will go up in clubs. A lot of this shit is going to go up at day parties, brunches. Like a lot of this album is like it's very, very danceable, right? But at the same time, though, he's still saying really conscious shit over all these beats and stuff like that. So that's where you get him at now. That's I think Kendrick, he found it. Few rappers find it. Hov found it. Nas found it. Pac found it, right? To say really polarizing things over beats that make people feel good, right? A lot of things that Pac said and rapped about were over great beats, right? It don't hit the same if it's over shit beats and he has this incredible pen and stuff like that. It doesn't hit the same, right? So very few people hit that. Very few people land on it to where they can just get a more radio friendly type album out, but really, you know, beats that kind of take care of everybody across the spectrum. So GNX is the album in your phone right now. I like to argue with people on the internet, right? Because it's a great exercise in regulating your emotions, right? And as of late, I kind of like on Threads, you can engage in some wild shit, right? A lot of the shit that I see on Threads is just women asking about men, like just asking about men in different ways, shapes, or forms, and shit like that, right? Right now, if you go look at my replies on Threads, a lot of people came at my head because I said that a woman's picture looked like an advertisement, right? It was something that she was celebrating her birthday or whatever like that, but like an ad to me. Like I'm single, no kids, I got the money, I got the house, I got all this shit like that. It came off to me like an advertisement, right? No harm, no foul. I didn't say she was ugly or make inferences about her skin color or none of that shit. I didn't say anything about her physical appearance or anything like that. I just said the whole picture looks like an advertising. But then I also added the caveat that at this point, that's just another bill for guys for a man who would have to pay, right? The misinterpretation of that is hilarious. So if you are on Instagram, whatever my Instagram is, I'll pop it up right here. And then I'll pop up the Threads right here. Right? Go take a look. We can all laugh, or if you have an opinion about something. Motherfuckers don't even have an opinion about shit. Niggas just be mad that you said something. a lot of the threads we're reading, a lot of the comments we're reading were like, they were basically like, how can you have an opinion on this like that? And why not an opinion like more like ours, like more complimentary and shit like that? I'm not here to compliment because I'm not necessarily a fucking, like, I'm not a nice dude. Like, I'm not a, In no way, shape, or form will I ever profess to be nice, right? I lead this shit with a level of kindness and respect and integrity too, right? But I'm not nice. Like, no, don't ever profess to be nice. Don't even teach your fucking kids to be nice, right? Don't do it. You set niggas up for failure and shit. Okay. I'm pretty sure we got a clip or two. We do. According to this thing, the most attractive male hobby is reading. I just said that to you guys just to say it because women don't like when we have hobbies, right? Women don't like, especially if it's a video game, they don't like that shit. Like, they might be cool with you playing and shit, but they don't like it, right? You a grown man, why you doing this and why you doing that, right? Man, don't let women tell you what you can and can't do, right? That's the first trick, right? That's the first trick. When they tell you what you can and can't do as a man, and they try to dictate to you what a man is supposed to do, never, ever listen to that. Never. No matter how much you love her, never listen to it, right? She can't tell you how to be a man, right? Because she knows I can't tell her how to be a woman, right? So when a woman tries to tell you how to be a man, boom. Same thing with women. If a man is trying to teach you or tell you how to be a woman in certain regards, in certain aspects, you can probably just ignore all that shit, right? What do we know about women? Nothing. It's obvious. It's painfully obvious that we don't know anything about y'all. Well, maybe a little bit, right? Right? Just a little bit, right? Because this is what I know about women. You guys are you women are, and this is not to be disrespectful or derogatory, right? But if you take it as that, then I don't know what to fucking tell you. I have to put that a little caveat in there. But what I know about women, especially in contrast to men, is you women are led by your feelings, right? If the thought makes you feel good, then it makes sense. And then when you put it out into the world, then it should make sense to all of us too. But most of the time it don't, right? Because a lot of times our feelings make sense to us, but they don't necessarily make sense to other people, right? Not all the time, but they tend to not. We can empathize with the feeling and not necessarily agree with it because it might not make sense to us, especially as guys, right? What women don't understand about men is the fact that a fight can happen based off conversation, right? So it's important as a man to be factually correct or make as much logic sense as you possibly can, right? You don't want to misspeak and you don't want to argue something that you can't back up, right? That's a fair difference. Those are two different things, right? And as men and women, we're gonna always have a clash in that regard, right? And I think that's really interesting about men and women dynamics. It's not like a black or white thing or anything. This is just how we are as people and shit like that. That's really interesting to me, right? Because it's not that we are incapable of seeing how the other side feels, right? Because we are, right? Because we can empathize and we can sympathize, right? But the fact that it'll never make sense is to the other. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to the other side, right? Like our logic doesn't make sense to them, and their level of feeling and emotionality don't make sense to us, right? And we'll always have that little clash or whatever like that. And then if you're with someone and you're growing with them, you guys kind of get an understanding of one another, and you kind of like meld and shit like that. And you guys build and you guys grow and stuff like that. That's my little relationship talk for the fucking evening. Speaking of relationships, right? A lot of guys don't necessarily pick up on women's signals, right? Because women are really subtle, right? But our safety is rooted in knowing for sure if there's danger over there. And if we don't know if there's danger over there, then we're probably not going to go over there, right? We might be adventurous and try and see, but we're going to be really fucking hesitant, right? Same thing with women. Check this shit out. And okay, and there's no right or wrong way to do this, but women don't understand that they have a really high percentage when they shoot their own shot, like a really high percentage, right? A really high percentage. Whatever you get after you make the initial conversation is one thing, but I know it's not. I know you guys fear rejection too, but that's a human thing too. That's not necessarily just a man thing. But 9 times out of 10, if ladies, if you see a man that you're really interested in, like you saw this nigga at the store or something like that, right? And he notices you too, but he doesn't come up to you and talk to you, right? But you like him. Go talk to him. Go talk to him. You don't even have to talk to him on some getting your phone number type shit, because if he's actually interested in you, he's just gonna ask, right? You don't even have to, like, it's so easy for y'all to just initiate the conversation. Hi, and he'll take it from there. Hi, how are you? I'm such and such, and then he'll take it from there, right? Use your discernment after that. If he gives you creepy weirdo vibes, in the conversation, leave. I'm talking about in public places. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about where there's plenty of light, there's plenty of other people walking around. This nigga's not gonna just grab you and just take you away and shit like that. No, I'm talking about safe places, safe environments. I'm only talking about that shit. All right, don't approach me and you don't fucking know in dark alleys and none of that shit just because you think he cute. Like, no. Safety. So check this shit out.
I'm dropping these hints and I feel like they are obvious. There was one time he messaged me and I thought, okay, let me try and show him I'm interested. I didn't write back. I sent him a voice note. And then I would comment under his pictures of him.
Okay, hold on. What women don't understand is a lot of y'all don't just hit niggas up in the DM. Like, I just don't do that shit. So when a dude gets, fuck that, I'll speak for myself. I don't get DM'd by no one. I'm a piece of shit. I'm not necessarily I look good in person. I don't look good online. Like, I'm ravishing. I'm gorgeous in fucking person. But online, I look like a fucking ragamuffin, and I'm okay with that, right? So I'm not going to be the one to DM. So in turn, my DMs are fairly, there's none of that shit in my DMs, right? None of that, hey, I want to get to know you type of shit. None of that shit. I don't just DM random women like that. And that's really most men, right? Most respectful men, right? And most niggas don't even have DMs to go through. So when we get a real DM, it has to be a real DM. You can't send no fucking voice note. That shit seems creepy as fuck. Like, if I get a voice note from someone, I don't give a fuck how good she look. I think she's trying to set me up. I'm gonna think all sorts of weird, crazy shit. Like, no, I'm gonna delete that shit and then probably block her. You're not getting no cryptocurrency for me, none of this shit, right? And a lot of fine women DM, like, the only DMs I get are from, like, the fine women who are like in the cryptocurrency and shit, trying to get me to do some shit like that, or real estate or some shit like that. It don't be no real fucking like, hey, I like you, I think you're cute type shit. It don't be none of that shit. It be some niggas trying to sell me something. Right? Niggas probably think I think so highly of myself. I mean, I think really highly of myself. I'm just honest.
Him and be like, oh, this is a fire outfit, da-da-da. Like, I wasn't doing too much, but I felt like I was doing it enough that he would get the hint. So I said to my girls, I was like, does this man got a girlfriend? What's going on? I'm like, he just wasn't giving me anything back. This goes on for
because you only said that his outfit was cool. Like, you didn't say nothing else. Like, you were just complimentary, right? That doesn't say, hey, I have a romantic interest in you. That's not how that shit work. I didn't take that as that. I wouldn't have took that as that, right? I wouldn't have took that as, because that is a big leap if the dude is wrong, right? You know, because like say if he did take that as something, but she really was just being complimentary, then it's like, oh shit. You know, now I'm weird to her now, right? And now I left a bad taste in her mouth, boss. So if you're not necessarily overt, then it's not going to work.
3 months. And then I literally messaged my girls to say, you see this Ty Niger guy on Instagram? I said, I'm done with this dude. He is not interested in me. The day I say to my girls, I'm done, I get a message from him saying that, oh, he wants to have a chat with me on the phone. I was look at God. I said,
3 months. 3 months. I know what letting that DM bake mean. Let that DM bake for a little bit. You know, if push comes to shove, I run out of hoes, I go right to this one right here. Boom, in the inbox. Boom, she thinks I'm an attractive guy. Boom, bam, she's already with it. Let's go. Oh, that sounds so mean. Oh well. The dating world is like one big battle for fucking supremacy and shit like that. No one's gonna fucking win it, right? Because we both need each other, and men need women, and women need men more than ever, and we're constantly fighting against that, right? And I'll be participating too and shit, like, but I don't be meaning it though. Like I need a queen, right? Black queen, you know, that's what I need. So I ain't gonna never be like, as annoying as some women can be, right? You know, in line or in person or whatever the fuck, right? I ain't gonna never be like, I don't need y'all. That's just fucking stupid, right? It'll never be to a point where I'm just disrespecting y'all and all that old stupid shit, right? And telling y'all the truth about yourselves ain't disrespectful because I'm open to the same criticisms about myself too, right? But some people think that you can't do that shit. I don't know. I'll be thinking different, right? What else we got? Oh, look at this shit right here. Look at this shit right here. Wait, what is this shit? Oh, yeah. No, we don't want to look at that. Let me see. There's a clip in here from Poor Minds. Let's see what the niggas are talking about. Shout out to Poor. Not to be disrespectful, right? I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't know. It's two women from the Poor Mind podcast. Both of them look fine as hell, but it was one of them. I don't know. It's the one with the braids, right? In this clip I'm about to show you. I don't know who she is, but that woman is fine. You can have all of the money that I have. I gotta move some money around to give it to you, but you can have it if you want. It'll probably get you some groceries for maybe a couple days, you know, but I'm here to help, protect, and provide. That's the type of nigga I am. Check this shit out.
What's the narrative that we hear about black men?
They don't get married.
No, they don't like who?
Oh, they don't like black women.
Well, yeah.
The national average for black men who are married, what are they married to?
It's got to be black women.
Black women, at what percentage? Over 85%. But it don't matter though, because once they make money, that's when they go get white women.
White women, yeah.
The national average for making over $200,000, black men, right? How many of those men are married to black women?
I'll give him about a cool
95%.
95?
I believe it.
I do believe it. And then when you hear the horror stories, we got to talk about Scottie Pippen.
Girl.
Lex has a good point though, because they'll show the Scottie Pippen, right? And they'll say, look, this is how black men behave.
Yeah.
But that's not the fact. Destroying the black family has been on the forefront of the mind of the people who created this country. How do you destroy the black wealth in this country?
Yeah.
Destroy the black family. Make black women think that black men don't love them. Make black men think that black women don't respect them. That's all a fallacy. It's not true. The older I get, I'm 40 years old now, the more I realize that everything I've learned from mass media has been programmed by people who have an agenda.
Let that man cook. Right? You know, we all participants of it, but you saw how fine she was. I had to say it again. She was fine. I don't know who it was. I don't know. I don't follow them. I don't even watch the podcast, right? I don't. But that woman is fine as hell. Whoever she is, shout out to her. But he's right, though. Maybe he's right. I don't know. We don't fact check over here. it'd be a lot of like black love is misrepresented on social media, right? And we all get caught up in it like it don't even exist, but it 100% exists, right? Outside of it, right? You know, sometimes we got to pull ourselves away from what the arguments on social media are about, right? And then plant ourselves in something that's a little bit more like reality based, right? Oh man, they're making they're tearing my ass up in them threads. Like they are tearing me apart. I'm holding my own against them, but there's a lot of them. They don't like that shit. Like, how dare you be able to talk and say and think however you want to think without our prior approval? People are so self-centered, right? Like self-absorbed and all that shit. Like, I run my ship, like, I don't have an ego, and that's probably to my detriment, but I never felt like I was above anybody. I never felt like my feelings mattered more than anyone, right? I never felt that way. This shit never felt right to me. It wasn't, hold on. See, we don't disparage black people on here, right? We really champion a lot of black people, especially if there's a black person who got away with the scam, right? That's what we really like, right? Black people getting away, getting over the governments, right? Especially niggas who's getting around shit, getting around government rules and all that shit like that. I love it. I love it, right? I'm not saying I want you guys to do crime, but I love a good story where the black person is triumphant over the, you know, the powers that be, quote unquote, right?
Erase slavery. Slavery was needed for the people to be who they are today. Without those people.
Hold on. Can I go back again? Now, what does it say? Wax says if he could erase slavery from history, he wouldn't.
I wouldn't erase slavery. Slavery was needed for the people to be who they are today.
Slavery. So he don't think we could just have been prosperous, like if we was just like treated as equals and, you know.
Without those people in Africa doing whatever they did with the slave trade and our people coming over here and the things that happened on the plantations, I believe that we were the race that was chosen to go through that because we probably was the only ones that can endure that.
All right. We're going to stop right there. We can only take so much of that. The only race who could have endured that. He's saying he's not trying. I'm going to give him just a tiny bit of grace, right? He's not saying I don't know what the fuck that nigga's saying, right? I don't agree with that shit, right? If I can erase slavery from this shit, then I would do that shit in a heartbeat, right? Check this shit out. This couple got married after 15 years. Look what the bride did. Vows, like, nigga, that's why I took 15 years to marry your ass anyway, because of some shit just like that, right? She looking at him crazy for waiting 15 years, and she didn't wait right with the nigga too for 15 years. That don't make, like, let's just embarrass ourselves. I hate you niggas, like, just don't make no damn sense, right? It don't fucking matter. I'm Chris. This is the Chris Gray Show. I love each and every one of you. Please be safe. Check on your mental health. Check on your friends. Happy Turkey Day, because I'm not going to fucking record anything next week. This is going to get clipped up, and it's going to give us a week's worth of stuff. Happy Turkey Day. Well, no, fuck that. Ain't no Happy Turkey Day. You don't. No. Because Thanksgiving ain't nothing. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving. We celebrate we get to hang out with the family, but we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Real quick, we don't do none of that shit. None of that shit. Right? We know what they did to them people. And as a black person, I can't be all like, oh, let's and celebrate. No. Hell no, you fucking crazy. I'm out of here.